We're counting down the top 10 research mistakes that we see clients make, and we're all the way up to finding number 4, lack of a consumer focus. I don't know what we mean by that. Number 1 for music and fun. Isn't that consumer focus, Carolyn?
Yeah. No. That would be in the column of, I don't care. You know, we see, and we've been saying this for years, as an industry, we've asked questions about us. And do you know who cares about us?
Us.
Us. And no, they don't care about your midday guy. They don't care about your slogan. You know, they care about what they're doing. And we don't ask questions about that. We have to beg people to ask usage questions. Where are you? What are you doing? How does it make you feel? Lee, you've got lists of these questions that just don't matter, where the answer is, I don't care.
Well, so often we get urged to forestall learning the hard truth, by just offering an answer choice for I don't care, or I don't know, or it doesn't matter to me one way or the other. So we ask, how do you feel about this or that personality? And by the way, the midday guy or midday woman, their names just never get in there. The mode of listening, if people are working while they're listening, that's a pleasant voice. I like that person. I do or don't relate to them, but they're there. I mean, Mike Saklarides, who was on Coast for about a gazillion years, even in the early 2000s, a couple of years before he retired, they had jingles for that guy, Mike Saklarides, and nobody, no name recognition, none, zilch. So why are we wasting the question slot on it when we could be asking about, I don't know, what are the things in the marketplace where you are that would make listeners maybe more attached to your station? What could you support? What things do they do while they're listening? How can you relate to that? We ask an awful lot of questions about us.
Yeah, I know that in our ratings prospect study over the last couple of years, you've added some questions about various emotional needs that radio fills and other benefits. Obviously, the number 1 is always it's free. And but when you dig deeper, there's actually a ton of stuff that if stations ask could be kind of rolled into their branding.
Sure.
To set that, I think it was companionship. What were the big ones?
Companionship's the massive one that we just don't, we yell at them all the time. I always think of, the experience of walking out of a restaurant at the end of a pleasant meal, and at a decent place, the hostess or host is going to say, hey, thanks for coming in tonight, folks. Hope you have a good night. Where Carolyn, go ahead, say what we'd say.
We're number 1 for food and fun. And we'd yell it. I remember when we tested audio at another company, and it was a group of male AC program directors. And I'm playing this AC promo that had been evaluated by a group of women. And the promo yells with great sound effects, all you have to do to win. And I stopped the tape at the time and looked at these guys and said, you're talking to a woman at 5:00 in the afternoon. She just had to talk to her teenager who was yelling at her. Yep. She has to finish this work so that she has to make this train to get home and has to figure out what to make for dinner and has to pick up the dry cleaning on the way. She doesn't have to do a damn thing for your stupid contest. Stop talking to people like that.
One of the things I think we could share from, I think, our most recent study, and in fact, I think we probably asked this again in our new study, which we'll talk about in a second, and Christian radio does a pretty good job of this. Way FM, K-Love, it's all about getting in a better mood, positive,
Sure.
no judgment.
Yeah.
Now, in this election year, I think we all agree that the next 9 months are going to be a proverbial shit show. And people are going to get angry and mad. And I do remember that the last election cycle we went through, the stations that were able to grasp onto that idea of we're the ones who'll make you feel better. Music that puts you in a better mood.
Yeah, and a station that stays out of the fray. I know so many morning personalities want to weigh into this, want to have a vibe, want to have an opinion. And listen, there are some exceptions where they'll be able to pull that off with aplomb. But for the most part, if you're the host on on a music station, you've got people coming from all stripes. Why do you want to force them to know where you stand?
Right.
It's the one place that they can just get away from it. If we're of a certain age, we all like those songs from Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
I don't need to know that you're on the other side of the aisle from me or that we're on the same. It doesn't matter. We both like Bon Jovi. Yay.
Yes, exactly. And, and we don't ask people these things in research.
Yep.
We're talking about our silly slogans.
Yep.
They don't care.
And you guys have a lot of different questionnaire tactics. I know you've got sliders, you've got, the equivalent of virtual knobs, you've got put things in order. There's lots of way to get at the real key emotional drivers of listening to your radio station, or the things that could be used as a key point of differentiation.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And, one of the favorite techniques when we get to the end of the questionnaire, we can, make it possible for them to, us to focus on just their station for a moment without revealing that we're working for you.
Right.
But then we can tee up all of those things to see, do you think the afternoon guy, talks too much about his cat? There's no way for me to get at that in an unaided, mode. But at the end of a questionnaire, I can just tee it up and see how many agree. If it bothers 15% or 10%, who cares? Let him talk about his kitty. But if it's 50%, 30, 40% of a core audience, you've got a powerful plank to go say, stop talking about your damn cat.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, we have some news to break. Carolyn and Lee just got out of the field with a 3,200 plus person ratings prospect study. And that's where a good chunk of the sample are people that have actually either accepted a diary or worn a meter or fit our modeling. In other words, we re-recruited them and they said yes to the principle. And so we did ask a bunch of questions about mood and about ways you might use radio. And we also got into the weeds about relationship building and how to have a digital interaction that's meaningful. And we're going to start sharing that. We'll do it in a series of videos here. But guys, I know you're right now, what we're doing is for clients and friends of New Voodoo. Hint, if you're watching this video, we consider you a friend. You can reach out to us at tellmemore at newvoodoo.com. And Lee and Carolyn and the rest of our team will sit down with you and we'll show you 6 new things that we've not yet shared anywhere about likely ratings respondents.
Yep. And, straight through, I think I can get through the data in about 20 minutes. Now, if you ask questions, that's on you. If we take a half hour, but I don't think we'd ever take much more than 30 minutes. So it's not a big chunk out of your day.
And Carolyn, this is our marketing. This doesn't come with a bunch of high pressure sales pitches, right? We just try to make our radio stations better.
Yeah, we care about radio.
Yep.
We care about business too. I won't lie.
Yep.
But we have been doing these studies every year to try and help radio be as strong as it can possibly be. Loved radio all my life. It's my career, and I'd love it to thrive moving forward.
We'll start rolling out those results and little video nuggets here this spring. In the meantime, you can get in touch with Lee at newvoodoo.com, CG at newvoodoo.com, or me, Mike, at newvoodoo.com, and we're glad to work with you. And we'll see you in about a week for our top 3 research mistakes that we see radio stations make.
New Voodoo builds digital products and conducts research and marketing campaigns for clients.
It's easy to get in touch. Drop us a line at tellmemore at newvoodoo.com.
New Voodoo builds digital products and conducts research and marketing campaigns for clients.
It's easy to get in touch. Drop us a line at tellmemore@newvoodoo.com.